So there was this man who was hit by not one but two atomic bombs, and he lived to tell the story. He didn't just live, no, he went on to have kids, a long career, and even became a celebrity in his 80s. His name was Tsutomu Yamaguchi, and his story is the wildest, most absurd, most unbelievable survival story you would ever hear. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you are going to see World War II from a perspective that will make you laugh, cry, and question the nature of luck itself. The year is 1945, and Japan is losing the war to America, but the government isn't surrendering. Tsutomu Yamaguchi is a 29-year-old engineer working for Mitsubishi. He's a sharp guy, calm, meticulous, the kind of person who probably double checks everything. He's in Hiroshima on a 3-month business trip, designing oil tankers for the war effort, and on the morning of 6th August, he's ready to wrap it all up and go home. He's literally walking towards the train station with two of his colleagues, suitcase in hand, thinking about going home to meet his wife and baby daughter. He even glances up at the sky for a second time and sees two B-29 bombers way above and thinks, oh, that's odd, but he keeps walking. Then he sees a parachute and a blinding flash. At exactly 8:15 a.m., the first atomic bomb ever used in war in the world history detonates 600 meters above the city. Tsutomu was only like 3 kilometers from the ground zero. Now you'll be thinking 3 kilometers is way safe, but in 1945, that is close enough to get hit by a flying glass. The heat was so intense that it could melt the skin, and shockwave that tosses you like a rag ball. He sees the flash and instinctively hits the deck, a move that went on to save his life. He covers his eyes, presses his face into the mat, and when he finally gets up, his face was all bent up, his eardrums were ruptured, and his hair singed. His hands are badly bent from holding them up in front of his face. He stumbles through the chaos. Bodies and bodies everywhere. Buildings were reduced to rubble. The city turned into a hellscape. Tsutomu was able to make it to a shelter, get first aid, and spend the night in a bomb-out city. By the end of the year, more than 140,000 people in Hiroshima would be dead. Tsutomu's two colleagues who were standing right next to him when the bomb hit were never found. Now, here is where the story gets insane. The next morning, 7th August, Tsutomu somehow manages to find a train. The railway was wrecked, but a few trains were still run. He's in agony, but he's determined to get back to his family in Nagasaki. He takes a train, then a boat, then another train, traveling across a country that is falling apart. He was able to arrive in Nagasaki on August 8th, collapses into his house. His wife sees him. The face was bandaged, hands wrapped, and she's terrified, but he's home, safe. He thinks the nightmare was over. He even goes to the hospital the next morning, August 9th, to get his burns properly treated. Now, while he was there, he's telling his boss about the explosion. His boss doesn't believe him. Literally, the boss says, "You are an engineer. You should know better. One bomb couldn't possibly destroy an entire city." And at that exact moment, as Tsutomu is trying to convince his skeptical boss that yes, a single bomb can vaporize a city, another flash hit. That was at 11:02 a.m. August 9th, 1945. The second atomic bomb detonates over Nagasaki. Tsutomu is only 3 kilometers away again. The same blinding light, the same shockwave, but this time he's indoors. The blast rips through the building, shatters the windows, collapses the walls, but he's shielded just enough. He crawls out. His bandages are blown off. His burns are now reopened and he's drenched in blood. He immediately starts searching for his wife and baby, as any of you would. They survived too. They were outside their home and the shockwave blew them into a ditch. Covered in soot, but they were alive. The three of them, Tsutomu, his wife Hisako, and their infant daughter, spent the next days in an air raid shelter. The city is gone. So here is the thing. Tsutomu Yamaguchi is now the only person ever officially recognized by the Japanese government to have survived both atomic bombings at a close range. That is not a guess. It is certified. But it is not like he walked away unharmed. For the rest of his life, he suffered from radiation sickness. His burns were fully never healed. He lost hearing in his left ear. He got cancer in his gallbladder, had to have it removed. His wife also had radiation poisoning, and their daughter struggled with health issues. But here's where the humor or the absurdity creeps in. Decades later, when asked about it, Tsutomu would say, I am unlucky to have been bombed twice, but I'm also lucky to be alive. And he meant it. He went back to work at Mitsubishi. He raised two daughters. He lived a quiet life. He never really talked about what happened until he got old. In his 80s, Tsutomu decided it was time to speak out. He wrote a memoir. He gave speeches. He started advocating for nuclear disarmament. And suddenly, the world discovered this man who had been hiding in plain sight. In 2006, he was invited to the United Nations. At 90 years old, he stood in front of world leaders and told them what he had seen and what nuclear weapons actually do to human beings. That same year, he met with the director of the documentary White Light, Black Rain. His segment became one of the most powerful parts of the film. And in 2009, at age 93, he was officially certified by the Japanese government as a Neju Hibakusha, a double atomic bomb survivor. Literally, that's what it means. When asked about how he felt about that, he laughed and said, it is not a record I'm proud of, but I suppose it is better than the alternative. Tsutomu Yamaguchi died in 2010 at the age of 93 from stomach cancer. He had lived more than 6 decades after the bombings, longer than many people who were never near a nuclear blast. His final words to his family were, I am tired. I am going to rest now. Now, here's the thing that gets me. His story isn't about just survival. It is about the sheer randomness of fate and luck. He was in Hiroshima by accident. He survived the first blast. He could have died on the train. He could have stayed in Hiroshima one more day, but instead, he walked right into the second bombing and walked out again. And despite all of that, he didn't spend his life bitter. He spent it grateful. He used to say, the bomb didn't just take lives, it changed them. I have tried to use mine for peace. So yeah, it is a fun fact, but it is also a reminder that one person's fun fact is another person's lived nightmare. And sometimes the people who have been through the worst are the ones who teach us the most about what it means to keep going. So if you made it this far, drop a comment. What's the most insane survival story you've ever heard? And if you want more stories like this, please hit the subscribe button and stay curious.